Hello, Aries, and welcome to your intuitive energy forecast update for the month of February 2020. Woo! You did it. You made it through January, and that was no easy feat. So, congratulations to you, and welcome to this brand new beginning. What are you going to do with it? Where would you like to see yourself go from here? This is an opportunity. February is bringing us all an opportunity to really with align with our truth, to align with our highest path of service in this lifetime. And this is service, not the service that you do as an employee going to work for the man, if you will. This is the work that you have come here to do in this lifetime. This is a time of really reconnecting with the dreams that you have held within. And perhaps you're at a point in your life where you're like, oh, well, it's too late. I'm too old. If you are still have the breath of life in your body, which clearly you do because you're watching this, then it is not too late. And if you have had a dream that you have yet to fulfill, this is a month where it's about getting clear on what is your responsibility to do. And it's your responsibility to make those dreams come true. So, we've got Mercury retrograde on the 17th of February through to March the 10th. It will begin its retrograde period in the sign of Pisces and move back slightly into Aries before going back through the sign of Pisces. So Mercury is always about our ability to communicate, the way we communicate, the way we speak to ourselves, because communication is not just how we speak to others out there in the real world. It's how are we speaking to ourselves. Mercury retrograde's a great time, and it happens four times a year. It's a great opportunity to pause and reflect. So I do feel, because I'm bringing this up for you, I do feel that February is really about just going at your own pace. There is no race. There's nowhere you need to be. You're not on a, what do I want to say? There's no finish line, if you will. The finish line is when we stop breathing in this lifetime. That's our finish line. We're all going to get there eventually, one day, way in the future. And in fact, whenever we get there, it's an agreed upon time that our soul agreed to before we arrived here on Mothership Earth. So I feel that Aries, you're being asked to clarify your ability to communicate. Are you communicating with others your needs, your feelings, your wants, your desires? Or are you of the mindset that, people that know you and love you should just know? They should just know. For all of us, February is a month for, first of all, for very much an inner journey. These two cards fell out for you, so I'm taking them. February is very much for all about the inner journey and reassessing, reestablishing more positive and uplifting ways to communicate with those we share our life with, and to communicate also with ourselves. So this is perfect because you have received, so I'm working with the energy of the Magdalene sisterhood, as well as connected to the dragons, as connected to universal source consciousness, as connected to animal spirit guides. So from the Magdalene deck, you receive the messenger and the crucifixion. And this is what I'm really feeling. And this is really what I was speaking about. How are you speaking about yourself? Are you, and if you can't connect with how you're speaking with yourself, how do you speak about others? How do you speak to others? Are you still, because this crucifixion card really speaks about being in judgment, whether you're judging other people or yourself. The truth is, though, if you're judging other people, you're still judging yourself. And what's the point of that? How is that, as Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? I think that's what he says. How is that working for you? And this idea of crucifixion, it's almost like martyrdom on some level, taking one for the team and, oh, woe is me. You know what? Those days are gone. And if you're still living within the energy of victimhood, I'm sorry to say that, very likely your life is not going to change. And the only way your life changes is when you're willing to make a change, when you're willing to, again, it's funny because it's kind of like a bleed over from Pisces, when you're willing to take responsibility for how you feel, because there's an abundance of healing available here for you this month, Aries. So much healing. And your healing actually is initiated through your contact and connection with the natural world, out in nature, whether it's in a forest, whether it's sitting beside a stream, really calming it down a little bit, calming that fire, that fiery Aries energy, which is often, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac is like the baby of the zodiac, often insecure, immature, and really quite self-centered and quite, aggressive in communication. And this is about tempering it to it's again, and it comes back to self. How do you talk to yourself? Those conversations that go on in your head that nobody else hears, are they uplifting and kind and supportive and loving? Or are you berating yourself, belittling yourself, and putting yourself down? And then you get the messenger card, and this is all about emotions. Are you honoring your feelings? Have you expressed your feelings to another? Is there somebody that you need to say something to share something with? I also feel this is, what this is saying to me really, Aries, is that your emotions are the messenger for you this month. Are you feeling, like if you ever see a lake early in the morning or late at night and it's just calm, it's like glass. There's very little movement, although we know it's moving, but there's very little movement. It's like a mirror. You could see your reflection in it. Are you feeling like that? Are your emotions calm and stable like that? Or is it like a storm's blowing in, and with each new breath, there's another wave that comes crashing in? Because whatever it is, you're called to listen to that this month. Listen to what your emotions are saying. Are you experiencing outbursts of anger? Irrational reactions? Because with Mercury retrograde, there can be a lot of this miscommunication, communication breakdowns, communicating from our wounds, right? Communicating, we're reacting instead of responding. So pay attention to your self-talk this month, Aries, and to your emotions, and what your emotions are saying to you, what they're asking you to pay attention to. I'm just going to take a sip of water before we get on to the dragon cards here. Water. That's another really important element. We are 75-80% water human cucumbers. And it's really important that we nourish ourselves with good, clean, pure water. Otherwise, we're just going to dehydrate. And when we're not, most of us are dehydrated anyways. But when we're not drinking water, it's almost like a resistance to allow our emotions to flow, right? Because the emotional center in the body is the sacral chakra between your hips. And the element of the sacral chakra is water. So in order to really get in touch with our emotions, it's really important to keep ourselves nicely hydrated. Okay, let's see what dragon energy is coming to support you. And there it is. Ah, look. This is great. So we have Archangel Gabriel's dragon. Archangel Gabriel is, like, to me, he is the angel of communication, the heralder of new beginnings. It says here, brings purification. And I was just talking about water and how water supports the release. And here we have Archangel Gabriel's dragon, which brings purification. Self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond. And this really, what I'm really feeling when I connect with this, I'm feeling very much this blue energy again. So communication, the water element. What I'm really noticing is the whiteness, or I guess the diamond color of this dragon. I'm going to just, for lack of a better word, I'm going to just say the white of the dragon is really speaking to me about the purity of your heart, the beauty of your heart, and really getting in touch with that this month. Because at the end of the day, when our heart stops beating and our breath stops flowing, all we take with us as we transition home to the spirit realms is the love that we shared. The love that we shared while on this planetary realm. So that's, knowing that, and that's the truth for everyone. And you don't have to believe anything I say, and that's fine. You'll feel it though. You'll feel the frequency, and you'll feel the truth of what is shared through me, through your heart space, without the ego getting all in the way. Connect with your heart. And if you're connecting with me, then it's very obvious that you connect with the frequency that my heart emits through the spoken word, through the written word, and the various ways that I'm guided to share. So next up for you, Aries, we have a message from your higher self as eternally connected to source. So universal wisdom. Look at this. And it flipped out. You saw that, right? Triumph. Number 7 in the traditional tarot. And let me just see. I think it's the Chariot card. Let me just look, because I'm not good with Triumph. I think it's Chariot. Yes. So the traditional tarot archetype is the Chariot for this. But this speaks of victory, your victory. Rising above the emotions. Actually, not rising above. Riding through the emotions to come out of the other side of your pain victorious. You have done it. The 7 always speaks to me. It's always been one of my favorite numbers. And it's always felt very highly spiritual to me. And yet, at a base level, it's really about our physical body and the 7 main chakras. This is like, when I say 7 main chakras, I'm talking chakras 101. So the 7 main chakras located at various points along our spine. Our triumph happens through our physical body, right? This is how we experience our soul's evolutionary path in this lifetime. It's through our physical body. We are eternal souls. That's what I was talking about. When we transition from the physical body, when the physical body, the heart no longer beats, the breath doesn't flow, we transition. We don't, energy doesn't die. Energy doesn't die. Physicality, density does, but energy doesn't. It lives on. And regardless of what your understandings or beliefs are, many religious schools will teach that this soul is eternal. And it absolutely is. And also, what I do know is that we are here in physical form to triumph over the density, to triumph beyond the wounds and the ego nature, so that we can joyfully co-create and leave our legacy of love. Because when we go, regardless of how much you may have in the bank or anything like that, all you're taking with you is the love that you shared and with others. That's it. And that's really, on a soul level, on an eternal soul level, that's what counts. That's what matters. That is the good stuff. Because the other stuff just creates, a whole nother level of density for those left behind, or it can. Particularly if there's still a lot of ego at play, ego energy. So let's see what your, okay, and that one. Two familiars. So we just had this for Pisces, and that's what I was feeling. There were quite a few similarities for within your reading and Pisces as well. But we have the sea serpent and we have starfish. Starfish has been coming through so much for personal readings I've been doing for myself, for others. It came through for Libra as well, and I do believe it came for another sign as well. But the sea serpent is really talking about the emotional waters. Are you honoring your emotions? Are you acknowledging your emotions, or are you repressing them? And if you're repressing your emotions, there will be a tendency to be experiencing a lot of sacral lumbar pain in the low back, knees, hips, ankles. So I really feel like this is a time, this month, for you, Aries. It's about accepting personal responsibility for your emotions and how you feel, how you react, how you express yourself. And for some of you, it's going to really initiate you onto your healing path, because so many wounds are stored through the sacral and root chakra. Sacral chakra is where, when we don't deal with our emotions on a metaphysical level, they get stored within the sacral chakra. This is also where many divine humans were interfered with early in life through the formative years, through inappropriate sexual contact, etc., which took place through the root and sacral chakras. So this is where we really have to heal, because if we don't, we will continue to be triggered through our connections with others. We will continue to allow ourselves to engage in low frequency sexual relationships, which are very, very damaging. Sexuality is sacred, and I look forward to the day where all of our children are taught that truth. It is a sacred, sacred connection that we hopefully are blessed to share with another in its most elevated light. And then we have the starfish, and the starfish is like, it's like, follow your own shining star and, go out there and shine. Yet, don't let yourself become so dependent on the outward shine and the adoration of others that you forget to nourish yourself. You forget to nurture your shine. Because nobody else is responsible for your shine. That's all on you. So, Aries, let's see what the guidebook has to say. So these, I'm only sharing from the Animal Spirit guidebook, and it's the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. So the sea serpent is from the spirit element, or the spirit aspect of the deck. And the sea serpent the message is about healing the emotional wounds and expressing your desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment, and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true nature. And so the sea serpent governs the second chakra, the sacral chakra. The subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies the area of the Svadhisthana chakra, located deep within the pelvic bowl. This chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire and is associated with the element water. Svadhisthana translates as in her own abode, indicating this chakra is the home of the Divine Mother or Kundalini herself. That's really, really beautiful. And if you think about it, it's the womb space. It's where our reproductive organs are in our body, right? So it's a very, very important place. And if we're holding on to wounds in this place, how are we going to birth through our dreams of new earth, our dreams of heaven on earth? And then we have the starfish, which is of the water element. I love starfish. So starfish, beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? Remember, we were talking about your dreams early on in this message. So when in balance, the starfish energy is uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When out of balance, it gossips and feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. Whew. All right, Aries. Looks like February is going to be a big one for you, full of opportunity for healing and self-expression, and really, ultimately, what you experience this month depends on you and how far you're willing to go and if you're willing to grow. So I trust you have felt loved and supported through these messages. Please do hit like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It really, really supports me when you engage in this channel, and it supports the message getting out and being shared with others. If you'd like to work more personally with me, I am offering up these readings, the Magdalene readings for the month of February. You can find the link in the comments below, and they are all sent out via a video link just for you. And that's it, Aries. Have a wonderful month, and be good to you. Drink lots of water, and know that it is a courageous act to acknowledge and honor how you feel. I see you, I feel you, I love you, and we'll see you next month. Take care.